Welcome, 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 welcome. Fill up from the front. Fill up, fill up, fill up, fill up. There we go. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Marisol. Hi, Vicky. Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
Welcome. We're all chilled here today. It's amazing. There's so much going on over in the world. We've got, oh, yes. Good. Sorry. Lots going on in the world right now. There are a couple of big days that have happened. There are a couple of important days happening right now. Wednesday, the 22nd of May here in 2024. A couple of big things going on. Some things still to come. I know I'm sounding all vague and like mysterious, but we'll get more into that. Beta token on Bitmart. How big, how cool, how awesome. So yeah, that's an important milestone. Hey, Wendy, so cool to see.
Yay! Yay! I think it's time to celebrate. Let's have pizza. Come on, let's go. Pizza!
Pizza for everybody. Well, I mean, on that note, how amazing again is our background here in studio today. The set elves were busy up all night.
Unbelievable. Look at that. All of these games. This is like fun night. Let's go.
Well, there's reason for all of this in and around us. You might have seen, ladies and gents, you might have seen the announcement around the theme for the 28th Hodlnots Happy Hour Hangout session and the topics that we will be covering. We're very, very happy to have all of you here. And speaking about people that are here, some of our current Hodlnots Scalp Trading and Foundational course students of May are in the house as well. Hi, guys and girls. Good to see you.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, it's good to see them. I'm sure a few more will file in shortly. But here on this 4H today, we'll be covering a couple of very important topics that have been coming up and around recently. We've heard about ETFs, so we're going to touch on what that is and how it affects us. We'll be hearing from Wendy in a short while all around that. But have a look around the room. All right, do you see any other things? All right, besides some pizza with something on it on that side over there. And then we got a pizza there in front of Marcel. That's like a deep dish pizza. Where does that come from? Then I don't know what Vicky's looking at. I think she's choosing a different drink. All right. And then we've got, I don't know if I thought this was Scrabble initially, and then I figured it out. It took me a while. E, T, and F hanging around here. And we've got a couple of other interesting little graphics and diagrams. And who's playing this card game here behind me? Well, what's going on? Okay.
Charades. It looks like charades.
Charades?
Is that what that is?
You mean solitaire?
Solitaire? Charades? Yeah, it's been a while since I played charades.
Charades.
Yeah, no.
I don't have any hands to do. Can you guys see how many words I'm holding up? No. All right.
No. You're right. It's solitaire.
It is indeed solitaire. Anybody know in the Q&A section down below? Anybody know why we have that up there? Yeah, it is.
Oh, wait a minute. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, we've got interesting. We've got a few people popping in some comments in the Q&A already. It's great to see. Yeah, thanks. Maybe what? All right, let's just get that clarified. Donesian thinks it's so you don't trade on your own. I don't know. I think it's quite important because sometimes you're waiting for alerts to go off, and you're trying to kill time. I mean, solitaire is that age-old classic of like, I'm bored. I don't want to be working. Let me play some solitaire on Mona. No.
I thought it was funny.
All right.
Playing solo.
Exactly. Trading solo. Definitely. That's what we'll call it. What we do want to make mention of is it's not part of the contest today at all. But I think it's Friday, Vex. I need to try to remember this. In terms of National Solitaire Day. I mean, it's an age-old classic. It's kind of like playing Tetris. Did you guys ever play?
Seriously. It's International Solitaire Day.
Or National Solitaire Day. It's just for fun, and it's a fun activity. That is actually today. Funny enough, it's National Solitaire Day. But can anybody figure out why we have pizza, especially the one in front of Wendy? Anyone? Anyone?
Oh, wait a minute. What's on there? Bitcoin pizza. Oh, it's today. Oh, I don't want to give it away. I can
What?
see that.
Okay, good. You pretty much got it there. Or anybody else want to
I
give
know
it?
what it is. I know. I figured it out.
Anybody know? For 5 points in this random game of points. Anyone?
Come on. We got enough people here. Let's go. Let's go. You guys all know what pizza and Bitcoin. Think. Put it together.
Yeah, man. All right. Well,
Come
one of
on.
the other things, something you might not know about me. My name is John Wine, and it's yeah, wish I could register it as an actual last name, but I do have a deep appreciation for wine, beverages made out of grapes, fermented grapes specifically. And right in front of me, I have probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, cultivar, and that is tomorrow, May 23rd, every year. It is International Chardonnay Day, all right? Or Chardonnay.
Chardonnay Day.
Yeah. Or
Wow.
Chardonnay, if you want to
Sorry.
be
Yay.
Chardonnay. Although every day is Chardonnay Day. But anyway, so and then there's something behind Wendy, just over her right shoulder over there.
Right. Left. What?
The other shoulder. Your other right shoulder. There we go.
A turtle.
Hmm.
Turtle.
Right.
A turtle in a rock. The turtle is hiding under the rock.
What color is that rock? And it kind of ties in with what you're talking about later.
Ooh, I
Very
got it.
lateral thinking. Yeah, and according to thank you, MasterChef Australia, you guys don't say think outside of the box. You guys think outside of the square. That's an interesting version of it, but sure, that's not bad. But yes, a couple of people got it right about that pizza in front of Wendy. It's not just so much taking a slice of the action. Yeah, you guys got that part, but well done to our very own Liesel. Absolutely spot on the money. Did you know that today's International Bitcoin Pizza Day? Did you guys know?
Today.
Yeah, does anybody know what that means and why? Anyone? Marcel? I know you know.
Is that in reference to that first transaction?
Yeah.
That's where it comes from. Okay. I
Yeah.
didn't know it.
It's I mean, we've heard about it before, and I actually found it really interesting. Vix found this and she was like, "Oh, it's perfect, it's today." And you'll actually see on Bitmart and a couple of the other exchanges, they're celebrating Bitcoin Pizza Day. So I thought I'd quickly just tell everybody, because if it wasn't really for that, we might not be where we are today. So back in 2012, everybody sit back, here's a little story. Back in
Most
2012,
expensive pizza ever.
well, here how expensive it got, right? So the first Bitcoin was halved in 2012. You got 50 Bitcoin for successfully discovering a new block, right? Vicky covered this in Bitcoin halving a couple of episodes back. And that whole algorithmic math problem figuring it out got 50 Bitcoin. So you only needed to mine 200 blocks on the blockchain to earn 10,000 Bitcoin. Now, can you imagine? Let alone 50 Bitcoin, 10,000 Bitcoin. So it was relatively easy because back then only a few people knew how to deal with Bitcoins. So on May 18th, there was a miner, Hanyots. He announced that he wanted to buy pizza, preferably 2 large ones, using Bitcoin. He offered 10,000 Bitcoins back then to anyone who'd be willing to order, collect, and deliver them to him. So that's what happened. All right. This was an interview that he did. And then he said, what was it? By May 21, he still hadn't found anybody who had agreed to this pizza transaction. But on May the 22nd, today, someone accepted his offer, and this became a historical moment. So what happened was, it was a Papa John pizza, apparently, and it was delivered. Don't know what flavor it was at that time, but it cost 10,000 Bitcoin. So in terms of that value today, all right, and this article goes back to 2021. So we know the value of Bitcoin, it's hit 70 and above. He would have made, with that 10,000 Bitcoin, he would have made 700 million plus dollars. That was what the worth, today's value of 10,000 Bitcoin. All right. That is insane. And had this Bitcoin miner actually kept that 10,000 Bitcoins and not bought the pizza, he would be, this is also crazy to believe, he would be 1/10, all right, $700 million plus. He'd be only 1/10 as wealthy as Melinda Gates. Okay, that to give you a bit of perspective at some of the wealth out there. But can you imagine back then, oh, like 10,000 Bitcoin, oh, it's like $20 worth maybe. And in today's value, all right. So I'm not saying BTAF token is going to be like that one day. I want to go buy 2 pizzas with BTAF token, Wendy. Come back in a couple of years' time. But yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, crazy, eh? Crazy world, crazy times. Vix, what else was there? There was Solitaire Day, we had the Turtle, Chardonnay, Bitcoin, what else?
It was what's in front of Marcel, which is a different kind of pizza. The deep dish pizza for some reason. Anyone know why it would be a deep dish pizza?
York
And that
or Chicago?
close,
Oh, yeah.
Chicago.
Chicago.
So it's something about Chicago we're talking about today as well, in a roundabout way. Same with
Why
The
is it-
Rock.
Why is there a nail in the shelf?
What?
Up top.
Oh, there used to be something hanging
right.
there in the shelf.
Ah,
It's just permanently up there. But yeah, like somebody else
okay.
pointed out, in front of me, in front of my Chardonnay, there is a device. Some of you might know what that is, and we're going to be touching on that actually pretty much very soon. So welcome to it. That was a little bit of a long intro, but we thought we'd have a bit of fun and just a little bit of a light educational for everybody else in this session today. Yeah, Vix. All right. So in this session today, we're going to be chatting all things ETF. When you will be presenting that in a short moment. And then also one of the other things that ties in there, some people get it confused with the word EFT. Hopefully some of you who use online banking or pay for things, you might have heard of an EFT, right? And that's an electronically funded transaction. And we thought,
I like getting those.
yeah, sure.
Exactly.
Give me any of those. Give me some FET, some ETF, some EFT, whatever it is, or just not TFE, whatever that might be. But yeah, we like getting those. But maybe Marcel, I mean, we can actually cover some of that as well in this next segment. Maybe we'll do a part 2. But we're going to be covering just after Marcel's Den percentages. We're going to be showing you how to send funds from a wallet within an exchange to a wallet of the same exchange. We're also going to be showing you how to apply the same principle when you're wanting to send USDT from one exchange into a wallet, also a USDT wallet of another exchange, and that might be somebody else, and then how that same principle will apply if you're looking to send BNB to a MetaMask wallet, if you're looking to send USDT or some tokens into a hardware wallet like a Trezor, Ledger, whatever it might be. And that's what we'll be covering right after Marcel's little thing. But I think, Marcel, there's something else as well happening today.
Yeah, there might just be a little contest around those transfers. So I'll touch on that a little bit later.
Ooh.
Can
I have an idea. How about we put up my wallet address, my deposit
no,
wallet
that's
address.
I've
You guys
already
all to
I
practice
called
on.
dibs. I called dibs on that.
It was my idea. It was my idea.
And we listen, we've been planning this for a few days. It's already in the process. Nice try, Wendy. Nice try.
you can put up your wallet when I've had some fairly obscure tokens dropped into my wallet.
Oh.
I'll still send you some of those.
Yeah, that's
you guys
okay.
also
Keep
get
them.
all those obscure tokens being dropped in your wallet randomly?
Yeah, every once in a while. You see them.
I've seen some very interestingly named ones, Marcel. Maybe you should tell us some of the ones that you've had dropped into your wallet.
I'd rather not.
Well, listen,
Nice.
speaking about token drops, you might have heard Marius talking about a certain new development coming up front and may well see some interesting new tokens dropped into all of your wallets. But more on that much, much later. All right, let's crack on. So Marcel's going to kick it off now with the Den percentages, and then I'm going to get into some really important information around wallet-to-wallet transfers. Badger.
Thanks, John. Okay. Looking at about 2 weeks ago, we actually had a fairly phenomenal week. Again, these are just some excerpts from the Den. These are not all the trades that happened. For those of you that's the first time on this call. So we're basically just taking some trades from that was been mentioned in the den from our members, and we populate them in a little graphic. So here you'll see someone at 7% FTT, another 8.7% FTT. UMA also did well. There was quite a few of them. ASR did well. This was an MEXC coin, 18.1%. Multiple members profited from wallet, one being 24%, 11%. There's some others as well. So all in all, a great week in the den. Then the last week, current week, or the week that ended on Sunday, there was a little bit more consolidation. Everything was a little bit slower. Although there was multiple profitable trades, obviously the percentages were slightly lower. But again, like I always say, even in a sideways market, we as scalpers tend to still make profit. So yeah, it was just a...
I think it's got a little lag there from Marcel. But as he was saying, definitely there are always percentages to be grabbed while... sorry, Marcel, we just lost you for a second.
Oh, did you? Okay, I do apologize for that. Where did I leave you guys?
We were talking about consolidation and how even in sideways markets we can grab percentages.
Okay, cool. So yes, we like I've mentioned before, even on sideways markets on quieter weeks in Hodlnots, we still manage to squeeze out some profit. So yeah, some of the trades that's been posted in the den. And remember, everyone in the den don't necessarily post their trades. So there might have been some other better ones. But I mean, profit is profit. If I can make, what's this, almost 8% on 2 trades, that's money. And what else was there? There was some other smaller trades in the den. And all in all, I think it was still a good week, even though it was slower than the previous one.
That's, yeah, listen, there is always percentage potential as well. For those of you Hodlnots who are in the den and the large, pop into the Q&A. What's been running the last few days? I know, Wendy, you were in there earlier. I was looking at EDU.
People, Peppy, EDU. There's lots of coin. BOME, BOME. We've had people ran like 40% since yesterday. Amazing. Unbelievable. And we have some high liquidity coins running right now. So while we may have had some smaller percentage gains, they're definitely going to be more for next week.
Absolutely. I mean, Bitcoin's been performing quite nicely. We've seen some of the larger caps move up, and then also going to start running even more. So ladies and gents, hold on to your seats. Things are about to get all right. Maybe Wild will run as well.
And Lunk, LUNC is running again. Everybody should be happy about that one. Yeah. Luke, LUNC.
Oh, lunacy. Yeah.
Lunacy.
That memories.
And Gala's running again. So there was some news on Gala, and Gala's recovered 100%, and it's just off and running. There's lots of coins running right now.
Yeah, what they were doing, they were absolutely making sure they were covered and making sure all those who invested in Gala are protected. For those of you who don't know, there was a massive hack on Gala, and a whole bunch of their tokens were sold off. We saw a massive wick down and a whip down on that side, and it's just continued its bounce back. I'm pretty confident. Besides, we're scalpers. We get in and out in minutes, and but it'll do fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Everybody, it'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
So you mentioned BOME, BOMA, along with the rest of the meme coins like Pepe. Watch out for Floki. What are those?
Floki,
yeah. Watch out.
Yep. That one's on.
Coins. Yeah. All right. Speaking about coins and transfers and so forth, it is an important topic, and it's something that has come up a couple of times, and we'd like to make sure that we cover this properly, because it comes up time and time again. We were speaking last week with BTAF Token around how to send your BTAF tokens over to Bitmart. And that is important for those. As a quick reminder, there's still one more week left, and you can take part in those listing activities for BTAF Token. All right, side punt done. But we wanted to make sure that you all know how to send, say, USDT from one wallet to another, or how to send some tokens, whatever it might be. And we'll be covering some of those networks, like Marcel kind of hinted on a little earlier. We'll be covering some of that and some of the benefits and the advantages of sending within, say, Binance to Binance, or KuCoin to KuCoin, or Bitmart to Bitmart, or all these other exchanges internally. So what I'm going to do very quickly is share my screen. All right, let's bring...
Or from your wallet to my wallet.
Yeah, we could do that totally. Let me just bring that across.
We need hands. We need hands. I mean, I need to be able to have a sip of that Chardonnay and a little bit of pizza. These little avatars don't have hands. We got issues.
Yeah, we do. We need to chat to Zoom all about that. I should be able to get. All right, let's bring this up. So here we go, ladies and gents. We were talking about Binance to Binance now, and this can be the same for a lot of the other exchanges, like in-house. So most of you know that when you're wanting to, say, send USDT, you'd have to go into your profile, at least go to your dashboard. This is all to do with your transfers and everything else. Click on that, and then you want to go to withdraw or deposit or even transfer. Now, what's pretty cool is that you can actually send USDT. Instead of sending it to an address, you can actually send it from one user to another. Now, do you guys know where to find your Binance ID? Do you? Anybody? All right. So if you don't know, maybe you do. In that Q&A section here, see if you guys know this. Maybe you might get a little surprise, actually. Let's just do that for fun. Because clearly I have, I'm Bill Gates, but I'm not. So if you know where your Binance user ID, pop it into the Zoom Q&A. We'd love to see if anybody of you know that. If you don't know, we'll be showing you shortly on how to do that. So let's move that out the way. Anybody? Nobody wanting to share theirs? All right, here we go. All right, I've got one so far. Okay, if you don't know, let me show you very quickly. Under your dashboard, so you go onto your user profile, you click on dashboard, this pops up. Do you see there that user ID number? You can copy that. And if, for instance, somebody owes you, for some pizza or whatever it is, and they're also on Binance, and you're on Binance and they need to send it to you, you would send them your user ID, send it over to them. They go to their wallet, USDT, and make sure it's on the Binance ID. All right. And what you do, you pop it in. Yeah. Now I want to send this lucky person. Oh, all right. So be it. No, you know what? I'll send $5 just because. What's $10? All right. But have a look here. No fee. So that's pretty nifty. If you're wanting to send from one Binance user to another Binance user, use Binance ID and you pay no fees. It's internal. It's free. Lovely. You can do it KuCoin to KuCoin. I'm pretty sure Bitmart to Bitmart, MXC, as long as it's in-house. There is another way. So I can click that. And actually, let's make it $500. No, I'm joking. I'm not going to send that. All right. So that would be still free. All right. That would work. But most of us would be using an address. Yeah, not my old home address, but yeah, thanks. So you need to put in a wallet address, right? But the trick is now, if this might be from Bitmart to Binance or Binance to Bitmart or whatever it might be, you'd need to be able to find that address. Now, for instance, if I'm wanting to send or fund my Bitmart's wallet address, I've gone into my assets, into Spot, and I would like to deposit USDT from my Binance wallet over into my Bitmart USDT wallet. Now, you have to make sure you as the recipient, you are wanting to make sure that that money is deposited into your USDT wallet. You've selected USDT. You have to make sure that whatever these that you choose is going to be compatible with the person who is sending it to you. All right. So if I choose and if I decide, okay, I'm going to choose the Tron network. Now, some of us like the Tron network because it's been around a little while and it is easier for a lot of us, but you could choose ERC20. Now, that's the Ethereum network. And most of you might know that it ends up being quite expensive to be able to do that. A lot of verification needs to take place. Most of you might even know the BEP20. Now, BEP20 is the Binance chain. And we might even cover that with Vicky shortly. If I'm wanting to send BNB to MetaMask or somewhere else, if I want to see BNB to another exchange or any other wallet, even if it is maybe a hardware wallet. All right. using the Binance Smart Chain. Some people use Solana. It's quick, it's fast. Some people use Polygon. Ton has been coming up quite a bit, but make sure that the person on the other side that is going to be withdrawing from their wallet and sending it to you can do that. So you need to choose that network. I'm going to choose the Tron network. I'm going to say click to copy, copying that. And this would be your wallet. You're wanting somebody to send into yours. You copy that, you send it across to that person via email, whatever it might be, share it to the world. We don't mind, as long as people are depositing into your wallet and you paste that wallet address. Now, if you pop open the network, you'll see that there are only 2 available. I've chosen the Tron network. If you choose the Solana network, there is a risk that it might not actually send through. You carry that risk. So always double, triple, quadruple check that you're choosing the right network, right? That it's compatible. I'm not going to send that across, but I could send $10 and look at the fee. All right. So look at that fee there. It's going to cost me $1 if I do that. If I were to try and choose the Solana network, yeah, sending $10, it's also $1, but you run that risk of it not actually sending across. Try make sure that if you're using the Tron network on this side to make sure it's deposited, that you're using the same network on this side. Now, some people, as I mentioned, some people have favorite networks. Some people love the BNB chain network, the BEP20 or the ERC20. There are a few others as well. Now, bear in mind, if I'm sending USDT, there are certain options. If I'm sending Bitcoin, which I don't own, then it will be a different bunch of networks. If I'm sending Ethereum, I'm sending Solana, if I'm sending ADA, if I'm sending a bunch of other tokens, you got to make sure that you're using the right network. So if I wanted to send this across to my wallet on Bitmart, which I could do, I can click on that and then it would transfer. Now, this whole reason why we're covering this is we've had a few questions in the large support tickets and so forth. How do I send my tokens across to my Trezor wallet, my Ledger, or whatever it is? The principle remains the same, is that your Trezors and your Ledgers are going to, and Vicky will go over this briefly, at least explain it, is that you will have a wallet address for whatever that token is on your Ledger. You need to then copy that. And if I wanted to send across BNB to my wallet, I need to make sure that I select the BNB here. I copy that wallet address from the Trezor or the Ledger or whatever the hardware wallet is, pop it in here and make sure that the network is compatible and send it across. It's the same principle. So I think Vix is going to show us quickly how to send, well, the principle again, how to send BNB over to one's MetaMask, as an example, and some of the challenges that you might face there. Vix?
Yeah, doesn't really matter where you are sending it to or from where. The principle is the same as John just showed you. You need where you're sending it to, and then you need your own. So you have to ask either your friend or your other account, what is the address you're sending it to, and what blockchain are you using? So as John mentioned, it's really important that the blockchain has to match on both sides, because if it doesn't, you stand to possibly lose your coins. So if someone gives you a TRC20 USDT wallet address, it's going to be a different wallet address than an ERC20 wallet address, even if it's both USDT. So it's really important that you say, what's your wallet address and what's the blockchain you're using? So this is my MetaMask wallet. And up here, right here, this is my MetaMask for account 1. That's my address. So I could copy that. I could give it to the person that's sending me tokens. Thank you. Just remember the MetaMask is slightly different than a lot of other, say, exchange wallets that John just showed you, because at the moment, mine is set up for the BNB chain. So when I think John mentioned, or he showed you that when you're choosing the networks, you got to choose BNB chain. So right here is my MetaMask. So I would copy that. I would give it to John, and John would put that address in his Binance account. He would choose the Binance Smart Chain, and then he'd send it to me. If I wanted to send tokens from my MetaMask, you don't use this because this is my wallet. I would ask John, okay, what is your BNB Binance Smart Chain wallet address? So he would go into Binance, he'd select BNB, He'd see what his Binance Smart Chain wallet address is. He'd give it to me, and I would send him coins. So it really is the same no matter what wallet you're using and to what wallet. You just have to make sure you need the coin and you need the blockchain. Really, really important. Now, John also mentioned, and on the desk, there's ledger and a trezor. So that's a slightly different, that's kind of one extra step. So what that is, I'm going to actually not stop sharing now because I don't need to sharing for this. So on the desk in front of us, there is a ledger and there's a trezor. The ledger looks like a little USB stick, I suppose. And the trezor is a little bit more advanced because it has a better screen actually. But they're both cold storage wallets. And you need that physical thing in your hand to be able to transact. So they're more secure, which means it is the same principle. So for instance, if you have a ledger, there is some software that you download onto your computer. It's called Ledger Live, and you open it up and you can see everything on your ledger. So you can see all your tokens. But the extra step is you have this physical thing in your hand. You know, if I wanted to send John tokens from my ledger, I do the same thing. I say, John, what is your wallet address and what coin do you want me to send you? I'd go into my Ledger Live. I'd say, okay, USDT. What happens though is you say, I want to send, but because you have this physical thing in your hand, you have to interact with it. So this little physical USB stick is going to say, are you sure you want to do this? And you actually connect it to your computer by a USB cord. So you have this physical thing in your hand, you're connecting it to your computer, but you can't do the transaction unless you say, yes, I do want to do it. You punch in a little code in your ledger. I'm simplifying it, by the way. And then the ledger says, yes, you can do that. So it's kind of like a 2FA, but it's definitely more secure because your ledger and your trezor hold all of your coin information. It's not just saying yes, it's saying I hold all your information and I'm not going to allow you to transact unless you have me physically in your hands and you say, yes, I can do it. So it's a little bit more secure, but the principle is the same. You still need a sender address. You still need a receiver address if you're receiving. You still need a sender address if you're sending. So wallet to wallet to wallet is all the same. It's just that they look different. And you can have wallets on your phone. You can have wallets on your computer. You can have this physical thing. You can have online wallets. So there's something called an online wallet. It's actually a website that you go to. You don't download anything to anywhere. It's a website that you go to and you can log in and you can see your coins there. You can have software that you download onto your desktop. That's a wallet. You can have apps on your phone. You can have the hardware wallet. And actually the last one is a paper wallet, which is literally writing down your private keys and your seed phrase on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
So, and then you keep it safe. So there's a whole bunch of different kinds of wallets. Each has their pros and cons. The paper wallet is actually the most secure because it's not connected to anything. It's just a piece of paper. Although pieces of paper can get wet, they can catch on fire, they can get lost, they can get crumpled, the dog can eat it. So it really depends on your individual situation, what kind of wallet you want to use. And of course, if you're scalpers like us, we really don't use these wallets as such because we have to have our coins on the exchange because we trade them all the time. So when you're trading all the time, you do have to have your coins on the exchange. You have to trust that the exchange is going to do the right thing. We get that question a lot. It's like, ooh, should I take my coins off? Well, yes, but then you can't trade. So maybe if you're going away for a couple of weeks and you're not going to be scalping, then take your coins off the exchange, put them somewhere, MetaMask, somewhere that's secure, and then put them back on. But that is I've deviated way past the transferring from wallet to wallet. But going back to that, transferring from wallet to wallet is the same pretty much from every wallet.
Yeah.
So I hope that cleared things up.
So just to quickly touch on that again, Vicky was talking about sending BNB. Now I've got Vicky's wallet address. Now the thing is, if I wanted to send BNB, you can see here that this address, this is the USDT Tron network wallet address, and says that the format is wrong. So there is no network. You can't choose a network because it is wrong. You have to make sure that you have the right one. You pop it in there, and then here we go. Thank you. Currently, there are only 2 networks that I can use because I've used, this is the OX, generally indicative of a BNB chain, and make sure that you select the right network. So you can use this one as well. The most common one is the BEP20 or the Binance Smart Chain, the BNB Smart Chain, or the BNB chain. That is the right one. So this gives an example. I don't have, I definitely don't have 10 BNB. I have all of 0 BNB, but if I wanted to send 1 BNB across to her within Binance, all right, it would be fine. But if, let's put in, yeah, what was that, 10? It actually gave me a fee earlier. You can work out it ends up being, if I want to send a BNB across to her, it's minimal. It's 0.0006 BNB worth of, in terms of gas fees, or what we call network fees. So the same principle remains. You need to make sure that you have the right wallet address. Like Vicky was saying, you know, if she needs to send some of her favorite token across to me, or for a ledger or hardware wallet, or cold wallet, cold storage wallet, provide that. But now also just fixes an update. Steve says now that there's new wireless option with the Trezors, or I think it was a ledger you were talking about at that point. Instead of having
nice.
that physical device. Yeah, that's pretty cool. There are apps, there are wireless options to make life a little easier. Now, before we get into the next segment, Marcel can now finally announce very quickly, we're going to run this for the next 10 minutes. Badger?
Yeah, thanks for going through that, Vicky and John. I think it will definitely make things a little bit clearer for some members. In terms of the contest that I entered about, I think what you can do if you want to be entered into the draw, maybe just mention in the Q&A to us one of the networks that Vicky or John mentioned, one of the networks that you can use to transfer funds, and then we'll enter you into the draw.
Ooh, perfect. So yeah, in the Q&A section down below, pop in there your favorite network that you would use to transfer tokens. It can be whatever you use most often. Is it Litecoin? Is it Ripple? Is it TRC20, ERC20? Is it Solana? Is it Algo, and everything else? So pop it in there. You've got 9 minutes to go, but we still got a little bit left of this Hodlnots Happy Hour Hangout session, and this is an important thing that we're going to be focusing on for the rest of the session. Wendy, what is an ETF? We've been hearing about this all the time. Can you please explain and educate us around it, please?
Absolutely. So thank you. That was really a great presentation. That was very knowledgeable for everybody to know that it's been questioning, making sure that their networks are in good shape and they know exactly how to sell tokens. So thank you for that. That was really good. What I want to bring to you today is just a general overview. In other words, on ETFs. And the reason why is not to tell you, not to give you financial advice to go running off investing in these things, but it's just that there's a lot of talk in the crypto space about ETFs. And what are they? People just don't know what they are. There's a lot of talk. There's a lot of talk about Bitcoin ETFs and how does that affect us, and just having some general knowledge about it, I think would be really good for our community, just to be a little bit more knowledgeable, and because knowledge is knowing, and we all want to know, right? We want to know what is an ETF and what are we talking about. So this is really just a brief presentation. This is not going to get into all the nitty gritties about how, what, where, and when, but we're going to go over ETFs and what their effect is on cryptocurrency so that you might be a little bit more knowledgeable when you're through this call. So can everybody see my screen?
Yep.
Hopefully. Okay, so this is ETFs 101, just really basic, brought to you by Hodlnots Happy Hour Hangout. What are ETFs? We're going to go over that. How do ETFs work? Why are we talking about ETFs with cryptocurrency, and maybe some of the pros and cons about ETFs, just so you can have a little bit of over knowledge. This won't take long. So what is an ETF? Just so you know, the term ETF stands for exchange traded funds. So these are funds that are traded on an exchange. An ETF is a collection of investments that trade just like a stock on an exchange. And they are generally used to track the performance of a specific market index. So in other words, if you are usually with a broker or you're trading stock on the stock market, this is one of the things that financial investors are now able to give to their community of investors, something else that they can invest their capital in that hopefully will bring value to a portfolio. So that's why they're really important. There are many different kinds of ETFs. So most people will like to invest in their own national equities. In other words, in their own country for a lot of different reasons. There's pros and cons. There's also global stock markets or global alternatives to stocks or stock ETFs. You'll have crypto ETFs like the Bitcoin ETF. So there are different types of ETFs now that you need to be aware of. So how do ETFs work? They work like stocks. So many people will use brokers to buy or sell for them. So ETFs have actually been around since 1993, and they're investment products that you can add to your portfolio for diversification in your portfolio. So as you're building your generational wealth or your wealth package or portfolio with your financial investor or your broker, then this is just another added component that you can add. The recent news has evolved around the newer ETFs, which are using Bitcoin. So this is due to the highly regulated issues on many global markets that do not think Bitcoin or cryptocurrency should be seen as a financial asset. This is why it was very, very difficult to get the ETFs passed, because most financial investors don't regard crypto as a financial asset. They don't understand it. They can't get their head around it. And they don't think that their people or their investors should invest in it. So now they work to pull money into investment portfolios to present to their investors. ETFs are similar to mutual funds for those people who invest in mutual funds, as both can be very actively or passively managed. Mutual funds have higher taxes and are a higher minimum investment, and they're less flexibility to trade because they're funds, they're mutual funds. So now ETFs give a bigger picture and a bigger power to a financial portfolio, but they give money to people in two different ways. They pay dividends regularly or by the growth of their value over time. So this is the one thing that you need to understand about ETFs that people don't really get their head around. And this is where all the hype in the news has been going on about, oh, ETFs, once they pass the BlackRock ETFs and Vanguard and all these other big investment companies, that all of a sudden it's going to spike Bitcoin out of the gazoo because all these investors are now going to be buying Bitcoin, which is not true. So you need to understand and get your head around what is an ETF, but you do not own the asset of Bitcoin. The financial person who is giving a portfolio package to you has Bitcoin in their possession, and you are buying in the value of pooled assets from a bunch of investors. So while Vanguard or BlackRock or some other investing area or financial provider, they may have, say, 10 Bitcoin, but they may have 100 investors, and you are all partaking in the value of those 10 Bitcoin that are owned by the financial people. So you are actually investing in the value of those 10 Bitcoin going up, not in the actual Bitcoin itself. So I want to make that really clear. So why are we talking about ETFs with cryptocurrency? So that you understand how Bitcoin ETFs work, and that it's not that everybody's going to all of a sudden rush out and buy Bitcoin. But the big investors will be buying Bitcoin, a certain percentage of it, but they just don't have to have equal 1-for-1 to their investor. So they are publicly traded investment funds that are enabling investors to gain exposure to Bitcoin without having to actually own it. So this is what's really appealing to investors who don't want to or don't really believe in the financial asset of Bitcoin, and they really don't want to get involved in crypto, but they see the value of it going up. It's been the best performing asset in the last decade. So while Bitcoin, they see it going up, they really don't want to hold it. But now that they can play in their portfolio with the actual investment fund or the value of Bitcoin without having the risk that they believe is they're actually owning it. So Bitcoin ETFs are not traded on a cryptocurrency exchange. So a lot of people don't have that misunderstanding as well. But instead, they're traded on traditional security exchanges like the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange. They're actually funds that are traded on those big security exchanges as a security or a financial investment. Institutional investors have steered clear of Bitcoin due to its volatility and because everybody knows the SEC and all the regulatory issues that different countries have with them. So the ETFs have made a way for institutional investors to buy shares in a pool of ETFs that perform with the price of the asset without investing in the asset. Like I just said, this is kind of a repeat of what I just explained to you. As more investors seek to enter Bitcoin ETFs, that may cause Bitcoin to rise in price because now the investors are banking on the value of those cryptocurrencies going up, not the actual cryptocurrency itself, but the value will give them dividends and payouts, and that's what they're banking on. ETF investors do not own any Bitcoin or crypto, but instead own a share that is linked with the price of the asset. So that is like really, really big. Now, some of the pros and the cons, I'm going to go over really quick before we close. We've got about 5 minutes left. But the pros are that ETFs do allow you to invest in several performing market options instead of picking individual stocks. They're grouped, it's pooled. So ETFs have no minimum investment requirement, whereas some of the mutual funds and other things do. So meaning that you can buy a single ETF or you can buy a whole bunch of them. So you can make that decision with your financial investment package or your portfolio. ETFs trade like stocks, so they're highly liquid, trading them daily without trading restrictions of managed funds. So if you're with a big company and you're working in your 401k or your retirement funds, you'll know that there's a lot of restrictions around managed funds. They're penalized big. You can't move the money around as often. But like scalping, and this is where we kind of hit in on the Hodlnots course, is that we teach and train you how to trade every day. And everybody who learns how to trade and having that training and education, learning how to trade daily, this is a big plus for those people who are now in ETFs because they can trade ETFs a lot more often, just like they can on a daily basis. So with them trading on a daily basis, there's pros and cons with that, but they are allowed to take more profit because we all know as scalpers, there's a lot of money to be made every single day. And instead of long-term holding and waiting around for coins, we're trading and we're scalping every single day in order to make money because there's money to be made every day. So the cons or the negatives about ETFs are they do not give investors the opportunity to outperform the market. So they are managed funds and they are specifically designed to outperform the broader market. Okay. ETFs can use methods to mimic their chosen index, of which some can create additional investment risk. So you need to understand that, as well as they trade like stocks. So it can be tempting to trade ETFs frequently when the markets are very volatile, but they can be significant costs when frequently buying and selling, which can eat into your potential gains. So this is what the caveat is do not buy into ETFs if you do not understand them. So always remember that it is always worth remembering to do and understand what your investment packages are when you invest. So here's your disclaimer and caution. Be wary in ETFs with your financial advisor if you have one, not to go with free brokers unless you know the person, you understand how free brokers work. But there's a lot of people out there that just want to get involved in ETFs without a financial investor or a broker. So these free brokers will say, hey, we can get you some ETFs for free. And they offer and entice investors with no brokerage fees. They tend to pocket a nice portion of your profits, about 0.7%. So when you're buying and also when you're selling, you get dinged. So they can also use third-party companies, which may not obtain the same spot or the best prices for you. So global markets, this is another caution for you. The USA is the most popular for ETFs. So you need to understand that outside of your country. But with that, the negative is that there are added costs for currency conversion rates. So you have to keep that in mind. The potential for withholding tax for international investing, the different trading time zones may not be good for your country to trade the same hours if you're going to trade daily. And overseas distributions are not automatically reinvested. So your dividends and distribution earnings are not being compounded. And everybody knows with cryptocurrency, or should know, when you learn how to trade and you're trained and educated, that farming coins is definitely good for your portfolio. Okay. Increasing and compounding are hugely gains that you can make when you're doing it a lot more often. So this presentation has been for your general knowledge and not to be considered as financial advice to buy or sell ETFs or invest in any way in ETFs. We're just giving you the knowledge, the know-how. And we hope that you are now more informed and you seek to gain more knowledge before you invest in any financial market, whether it be cryptocurrency or other. So with that, I'm going to finish my presentation and just say, I hope you are a little bit more educated about ETFs, electronic traded funds, and you can consult if you're interested in investing in them with a financial planner. Over to you, John.
Absolutely. ETF, exchange traded funds, is super important for you all to be aware of. Absolutely. Thanks, Wendy, for that. As a general overview as to ETFs, it is something to be aware of. And you touched on scalping, and scalping, being great because we're in and out. We don't have to worry about that. That is so true. Before we head on to that and wrap up this 4-H, Marcel, I see we've had a whole bunch of entries into our 4-H live contests.
So we had a good couple of entries, and behind the scenes we spun the wheel, and can we have a drum roll? Winner for today is Liesel.
Liesel,
we'll get in touch with you.
Congratulations, Liesel.
Congrats.
Yeah, you have won a whole bunch of BTAF tokens. Perfect timing. Love it. Well,
congrats.
Awesome. We're going to need your, again, we need these wallet addresses so we can do the exchanging, transferring and stuff. So send over your BNB, your MetaMask BNB wallet address, drop a sport ticket or get in touch. You know how. Very quickly, just because we're talking about scalping and this is the Hodlnots Happy Hour Hangout. Just a reminder, we're actually right in the middle, well, not in the middle, near the beginning, first week of the May course for our Hodlnots scalp trading and foundational course. And we've got a bunch of actually students here on the call with us right now. We'll see you guys in 59 minutes for our next day. So far, we've covered the ins and outs of TradingView, which is super important. You guys might remember from one of the previous 4-H's, we did a couple of series actually on TradingView tips and tricks. It's super important, but we've actually started getting into indicators. We started teaching them all about the EMAs. We've spoken about the SMA. We've spoken about the Golden Cross, Death Cross, and most importantly, the Hodl Cross. All right, we've started touching on that. And in our next session with them, we're delving deeper into some more indicators. We're going to get into one of my favorites, if not my favorite, Bollinger Bands, as well as Heikin-Ashi candles and how we use them and how we interpret them. And a bunch of you have all done this course before, so you know what we're talking about. I see 1 or 2 premium students here too, and that is great to see. On that note, if you missed the intake for May, we do have the next course in July. However, if you would like to find out more about our premium course, which is all exactly the same as a class course, except that it's tailored to you and whenever it's convenient for you as well. We popped it in the chat, the Zoom chat at least. Sorry, I sent it to the wrong bunch of people. There we go. You can all have it too. All right, there it is. There's the link. Thanks very much. Check it out. If you know somebody who would benefit from learning how to scalp trade, and actually more importantly, be able to understand the foundational elements, so you can take that knowledge of indicators, the confluence between them, how they work together, and deeper understanding of timeframes. You can actually trade on any time frame. This is why this course within Bitcoin Trade and Forecast is that foundational, is where you begin, right in the knowledge of understanding crypto and taking that forward. So there is that information for you. And I'm sure we'll wrap up with Wendy's last raised hand point.
No, I was just going to say, I don't know of any other course out there that teaches Ichimoku clouds the way we do. If you don't understand Ichimoku clouds, I'm telling you, it's a whole new eye opener on indicators. So I'm just encouraging you to learn what we know, and we would love to teach you.
Absolutely. It's not just, it is the Ichimoku clouds. It is also our friend Barney and the lagging span. And what does that all tell us? Along with things like the specialized MACD that we use, front of the mountain, super important, all right? That is important. That's where we trade in that golden zone, taking into consideration time frames and how those play a role in the quality of the runs that we're going to see going forward. But yeah, thanks everybody. Thank you, Marcel, for a great little contest there, 10 updates. Wendy, thank you for your presentation. Vix, thank you for showing us all about MetaMask and those wallet transfers. All important. Thank you. And everybody else, you in the back, in the corner, in the middle, in the front. Thank you for being here on the 28th episode of Hodlnots Happy Hour Hangout. We'll be bringing you the next rendition, episode 29, in 2 weeks' time again. We'll be updating you. That's all you, Steve. We'll be hearing from, hopefully, some of our students who will be in their last week of the course before they join the den and the lodge. And the rest of you crazy people of our already certified Hodlnots. We're looking forward to touching base with some of them as well back then. But for now, from my side, thanks, co-hosts.
We'll see you soon.
Bye. Bye, everybody.